I mean, Pat, you're married. Tom, you're married. If your husband's doing something, if he's allegedly doing something like this, you guys would know if your wives were up to some nefarious stuff. Let's just not forget who she is. She's been, for years, lecturing America about morality, inequality, systemic failures. And look at her track record. How many times does she have to go on in the past 2 months and look at the camera and do a legal apology for all the stuff that she said?
Daytime TV often gives us dramatic moments, but sometimes one event stands out and gets everyone talking. A prime example of this was the heated argument between conservative commentator Tomi Lahren and The View co-host Sunny Hostin. What started as a debate about immigration quickly turned into a heated discussion about ancestry, hypocrisy, and what it truly means to be American. Tomi Lahren is known for her strong opinions on immigration, supporting policies that prioritize merit and a strict legal process for entering the U.S. She's become a polarizing figure because of these outspoken views. On the other hand, Sunny Hostin has long advocated for a more compassionate and inclusive approach to immigration, often opposing conservative viewpoints. So, when these two opposing sides clashed, it was bound to spark a fiery debate.
I agree with mostly everything that's been said. I mean, we know that, only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance and then has to sue health insurance companies to get paid for the work that he's been trained his whole life to do.
The argument escalated when Hostin brought up Lahren's ancestry to challenge her position. She pointed out that Lahren's ancestors, who came from Norway and Germany in the 1800s, didn't speak English for years after arriving in the US. Hostin argued that this revealed a contradiction in Lahren's views on immigration, suggesting hypocrisy. What could have been a thoughtful conversation, however, quickly became personal. Lahren, staying true to her bold style, didn't back down. Instead, she used the comment as an opportunity to double down on her beliefs. She argued that her ancestors had followed the legal immigration process and built their lives without relying on government aid, making a sharp distinction between the past and present immigration experience. Despite the personal nature of the attack, Lahren remained calm and confident, sticking to her arguments. For some, Hostin's approach was seen as an effective way to highlight inconsistencies in Lahren's argument. Others, however, felt it, crossed a line by focusing on Lahren's family, shifting the conversation from immigration policy to something more personal. The debate veered away from discussing how to address modern immigration challenges and instead centered on the question of whether immigration today could be fairly compared to that of the 1800s. Lahren argued that immigration in the past...
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all agree on that. That's a given.
I also think that she wants to take him out.
She does not want to be the first lady anymore.
They agree with you.
She doesn't want to be the first lady. She destroyed the Rose Garden.
Who hates Christmas? Melania Trump hates Christmas. She doesn't want to decorate for Christmas. She doesn't want anything to do with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the same room with him. She can't tolerate him.
If you average out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth.
But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It
was largely unregulated, with people arriving to claim land and start new lives. She emphasized that today's immigration is much more complex, shaped by strict laws, security concerns, and modern welfare systems. To her, comparing the two periods was like comparing apples to oranges. Hostin, however, believed the comparison was valid, using it to argue that cultural integration has always been a gradual process, and that Lahren's ancestors likely faced similar criticisms in their own time. The argument struck a chord with viewers, sparking conversations about immigration and how personal histories shape opinions. While some praised Hostin for pointing out what they saw as hypocrisy, others felt it was an unfair tactic that distracted from the real issue, the current state of immigration policy. Ultimately, the exchange highlighted the deep divide in how people view immigration and what it means to be American. Both women walked away from the debate holding firmly to their positions, leaving viewers to decide where they stand on the issue. The debate over immigration in America is not just
Because I do want to get back to this point with the left and Melania Trump. Why can't she just be her own woman and have separate?
And she can.
And so why all that criticism? I mean, that was gross from The View.
And I
look,
agree.
The View is not the litmus test of America. We don't think that.
They were afraid of that remark. That was their problem.
So why did they handle it that way?
about policies, but about the identity of the country and its future. A recent exchange on The View brought this divide into sharp focus. Hostin, by bringing up Laren's great-great-grandmother, didn't just challenge Laren's arguments on immigration, but also questioned her character. While it's one thing to debate ideas, bringing someone's family history into the conversation is a bold move, and it changed the tone of the discussion. Lahren didn't let this personal attack shake her. Instead of retreating, she used humor and confidence to turn the situation into a moment of strength. She jokingly commented on Hostin's genealogist skills and used the controversy to rally her supporters. Social media quickly lit up, with strong reactions. Some people praised Hostin for calling out what they saw as hypocrisy, while others felt it was an unfair attack designed to discredit Lahren.
Comments about Melania Trump. The former First Lady appears to signal her support for reproductive rights in a video out yesterday.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. What does my body, my choice really mean?
And this take is pretty shocking.
I think she hates him.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, so we can all
That's a
agree on
given.
that. That's a given.
I also think that she wants to take him out.
That's unfortunate.
Wow. I mean, that is violent. They've got to
The
stop
debate also
talking
put
like
the
that
view in
about
a
a former
tricky
president
position.
who's had 2
The show is
assassination
known for
attempts.
its
I mean, that's
lively
just
discussions, but this particular exchange crossed the line into personal territory. Challenging someone's ideas is one thing, but bringing up their family tree as part of the argument, that raised some eyebrows. When the dust settled, the focus shifted back to the real issue: immigration policy. Lahren made it clear that her stance wasn't about rejecting immigrants, but about enforcing rules. She pointed out the difference between legal immigrants who follow the process and those who cross the border without permission, something that often gets overlooked in political debates. Hostin defended her decision to bring up Laren's ancestry, explaining that it highlighted the complexities of immigration. By pointing out how Laren's own ancestors had to face language barriers and challenges when they arrived in the US, Hostin sought to emphasize that the process of integrating immigrants into American society has always been difficult. Hostin argued that these historical struggles should be acknowledged when discussing today's immigration issues. However, by choosing to focus on Laren's family history, Hostin inadvertently gave Lahren a platform to gain more support. Instead of discrediting Laren's views, Hostin's personal attack ended up drawing attention to the fact that Laren's position was grounded in a belief that immigrants should follow legal processes, something many of her supporters could relate to. What started as an attempt to challenge Laren's credibility ended up reinforcing her stance, allowing her to present herself as a defender of law and order. This debate, while rooted in immigration policy, quickly became a symbol of the deeper cultural and political divides that exist in America today. On one side, there is a belief that immigration is a central part of the nation's identity and that the country should embrace a compassionate, inclusive approach. This viewpoint stresses the need to welcome immigrants and view them as integral to the country's growth and progress. On the other side, there is a strong focus on strict enforcement of immigration laws, merit-based systems, and self-reliance. Those who hold this view argue that immigrants should follow the legal process and not rely on government benefits. Ironically, while these sides may seem vastly different, they likely share more common ground than they realize. Both Lahren and Hostin value the contributions of immigrants and understand the importance of cultural integration. However, in the heat of the debate, these shared values often get lost in the drama of live television. As the argument unfolded, it wasn't just about discussing the pros and cons of immigration, it became a deeply personal matter. This shift from policy to personal attacks made the argument more intense, with both women feeling the emotional weight of the confrontation. Whether you side with Lahren or Hostin, one thing is certain: the conversation about immigration is far from over. Moments like this serve as a reminder of how deeply politics can affect people and how personal these debates have become, often making it difficult to separate the ideas from the individual